Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. Going to have a look at weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's video. So day 10 is going to take us to goodness gracious me, and wow, Christmas Day, 25th of December. Can you believe that, everyone? What about that? I don't know. And we'll be able to extend that beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Very much around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the next 4 weeks. That gets us into January. I'll get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video today was the 6 AM upload. We've also this European Outlook, and we're going to resume, continue the Christmas countdown this evening. So we'll have a look at the 12s there and do a Christmas forecast. No messing about with the CFS. We've finished with that while I've been away in New York, and so we're just going to be focusing on GFS, and probably will include the other shorter range models as well, and that will be coming up for you, kind of like a 14th Christmas update / 12 model roundup, that kind of thing. That will be coming up for you about 7ish this evening, I would have thought, just after 7. Please like, share, subscribe on videos. Thank you so very much, everybody, for doing that. Why not drop a comment? I'm so sorry, I'm still coughing, everyone, from New York. Whatever I brought back, still with me. No, what was I saying? Please like, share, subscribe on the videos. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so very much, everybody, for doing that. Now, we've got a new channel member. I want to say thank you so much to Philip Meek for becoming a GavsWeatherVids channel member. Thank you so much, Philip. Philip became a channel member while I was away. So, thank you so much to Philip Meek. If you'd like to become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids, all you need to do is click the join button. It will take you through to another page where you see what benefits you get for becoming a GavsWeatherVids channel member, and you can sign up on that page as well. Why not sign up somebody for Christmas to GavsWeatherVids channel membership? That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Thank you so much, Philip, for doing that. Thank you so much to all of our channel members as well. While I was away, we had a few PayPal donations. Now, I'm going to go through them, and most people who donated through PayPal while I was away, I'm going to email you and see if you want to shout out. Because some people want to shout out and some people don't. Some people want to do it anonymously. So, it's absolutely fine if you do, but I'd like to check, before I give a mention, whether they want to be mentioned or whether they'd rather stay anonymous. So, the people who donated through PayPal, you know who you are, so I'll be emailing you in the next day. I'm still trying to catch up with everything after being away. But thank you so much to those people for the donations. If you'd like to give a donation to GavsWeatherVids through PayPal, just need to come through to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal.me page, and sign to your PayPal account, and then you can donate whatever you want. You will get a shout out in videos as long as you want when you find the link in the description to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal.me page. Thank you so much to all of you for all of the support over all of these years. I thank you all so very, very much for that. Right, let's crack on with the vid then. So we're going to start off by having a look at the Arctic Oscillation. Observed and forecast. Here we go. So the black line shows where we've been with the AO. The red line shows the AM, where the GFS ensembles and forecast the Arctic Oscillation to go. Notice how the AO has been in very negative territory since like late November really, but going into December, it goes extremely negative for a while over the past few days. We're still at a very negative level as well. If anything, we're going to go even more negative with the Arctic Oscillation in the coming days, and then trying to recover a little bit as we go through like Christmas towards the end of December, beginning of January time. But to be honest, it also like the AO saying negative, so that does tell us that it's going to be continued blocking on offer. There will be continued northern blocking around. Remember, it's always the weather that's driving the index, so if the index is negative, it's because we've got high pressure blocking within the northern latitudes. And that's what's given us this really cold start to December. So blocking will continue, I think, through the rest of December. The only question is, where will that blocking be sitting? Now, this is the NAO, North Atlantic Oscillation, observed and forecast. So that's how this is looking. The NAO is now trending to a more neutral level. So through the first half of December, generally the NAO has been in a negative territory. We're now weekly positive, and the GFS ensembles are forecasting that the NAO will stay either very weak negative or around neutral. So neutral to weak negative with the NAO, which tells us that the Westies are probably going to continue to be relatively weaker. You know, it's what you'd normally expect in a typical modern British winter. You'd normally expect strong zonality. We're not seeing signs of that at this stage. We're not seeing the NAO going into a very positive state, and combined this neutral to negative NAO combined with the strongly negative AO, I think that tells us that the Westies are going to be weaker, the zonal flow will be weakened, and that could well allow further opportunities, further possibilities for cold weather. We know it's going to get milder into the weekend and during the early part of next week. That may only be temporary though, and we could well find further opportunities for both blocking and also for colder weather, either from the north, possibly even from the east, as we go through the next week or two. CT is currently looking like this, so essentially in temperature getting ever colder during this prolonged cold spell, now standing just at 1.1. Wow. That is 3.4 degrees below average. And that is provisional to yesterday, to the 14th of December. That will go into the zeros, I think, when that updates tomorrow. So we had a very cold night in the CT region last night. That's not accounted for within that number yet, I don't think. So another really cold night to come tonight. So I reckon that's going to go under 1 degree when we get into tomorrow's update. So a really cold start to December. I saw on Twitter, John Hammond was tweeting that this is the fourth coldest first half to December in the last 100 years. So obviously there's 2010, that would be colder, probably 1981, probably 1950. I think those would be the three that were colder in the first half of December than this year. But this is the fourth coldest first half of December in 100 years. Absolutely incredible when you think how hot it's been throughout 2022 so far. What a flip in the last month of the year. And more cold weather to come. So these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Next comes week's red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Northampton. Obviously, we're still cold at the moment with those upper air temperatures. There's the warm-up later in the weekend and into the early part of next week. Doesn't last for long. Look at this. We're going colder than average. The white lines be ensemble mean that's going below the long-term 30-year average. As we're going through the Christmas period, it does look as though cold air is going to be coming back. Probably not as cold as it has been through this second week of December. Then again, it doesn't need to be to get a little bit of wintry weather going. So obviously with that, the devil will be in the detail. There is a bit of scatter, so I've still got some mild ensemble members up here, but generally I think the GFS ensembles are trending colder through the Christmas period. Then trying to lift the upper air temperatures back up towards the new year, but of course that's a very long way off, as we know, in this pattern. So I think we just leave that alone. Precipitation-wise, going to be lots of dry weather. While it remains cold as it gets milder, there will be precipitation, and of course that might deliver a little bit of snow before it turns back to rain. And there is precipitation after that around the Christmas period. So, I mean, if it's cold enough, who knows? Maybe some of these precipitation spikes could be snow. Let's have a look at Snow Row, shall we, and see how that is looking. So, not going to be much snow over the next few days in Northampton. Lots of dry weather to come. Notice the snow spikes around Christmas, though. How interesting. Could I get a white Christmas at the Towers? Wouldn't that be interesting? But quite a few snow spikes there, actually, around from 22nd, 23rd December to around the 27th. That looks quite encouraging, really, doesn't it? What about London? How's that looking? Not as many down there, but there are a few. And what about Great Malvern? That looks even better, actually, and some really quite big snow spikes there, potentially, for Great Malvern. How interesting. Could we get a white Christmas this year? I wonder. Temperature anomalies from the 15th to 23rd of December. Remember, 14th Christmas update coming up this evening. Temperature anomalies from 15th to 23rd of December. Going to be below average. Precipitation anomalies from 15th to 23rd December, about average, not a particularly big deviation. Latest move about northschool.net shows that we're still bringing those cold north-northeasterly winds today, dragging the map down. Again, we can see that the air is continuing to originate from a very long way north, so it's another really cold day out there today. However, changes are afoot. Let's move this back up, and we can see that we have got some parcels of air originating more from the Atlantic around here, which is still pretty chilly sort, but nowhere near as cold as like the polar Arctic air stream we have been in. And it's these parcels of air that will be starting to move our way over the next couple of days, breaking down the very coldest of the weather by the time we get into the weekend. Right, so let's have a quick look at the latest UK Met Euro run. Actually, we can't do that because that's showing Tuesday's UK Met Euro run. So, what's gone on there? I wonder what's happening. What's going on? What's going on? Let me just pause the video and I'll go to Metacilla and see if I can find the correct chart. Okay, we're back, and we're at 2. We're at the Weather Outlaw. Going to get me off the hook. So here we go then. This is the correct model run from UK Met Euro. This is for midnight on Sunday. And we're beginning to drag up these much milder southerly southwest winds. There could be a little snow on the leading edge of a band of heavy rain, introducing that milder air from the Azores. Now, as we go into Monday, looking very unsettled, low pressure in the ascendancy, initially very mild, then starting to cool down as we lose that long fetch southwesterly. That's so look as we get to the end of the UK Met Euro run, which gets us to midnight next Thursday, 22nd of December. Very unsettled, low pressure out to west will be bringing further bouts of rain in across the country. Colder air is trying to get in behind this area of low, so it's low pushing in that direction, and then colder air is trying to move in on its backside. Whether that would introduce cold weather for Christmas, who knows? It's one of those charts that's a little bit in between. Could go either way, but certainly there is cold air to our north up here. I've got cold air. It is trying to push in as this low pressure clears away. My line went wonky. As that low pressure clears away, it's possible it would turn colder. Icon looks like that again, dragging up those mild southerly southwesterly winds certainly into Monday, mild, wet and windy. We open up next week, and then low pressure pushing through the country through the week next week, bringing further unsettled conditions. Not much time it's turning colder for Christmas by the end of the Icon run. Although, to be fair, we only get 22nd of December with that, so got another 2 or 3 days, see where that would go. But up to that point, looking relatively wet and unsettled. GFS midnight run. Again, we're dragging up those milder southerly southwests on Sunday, coming out of the freezer, going into the fall, mild, wet and windy early next week. Then through the middle part of next week, turns a little bit stormy as this low pressure pushes through. And as that clears through, then we start dragging some cold air into the north. That's Christmas Eve. Just 9 days away now. We've got an area of low pressure through the country. That'll be bringing rain into the south on the northern side of that low. Colder air is digging in from the north. Of course, as that low pressure clears through, that will start pulling colder air from the north. So that's midnight on Christmas Day, day 10. And we are bringing down colder air from the north there. So quite a cold Christmas on this GFS midnight run. Beyond that, Boxing Day, we get rid of that trough of low pressure. Heights trying to rise over Scandinavia as low pressure tries to get in from off the Atlantic. And look what happens in the extended range. Gets very interesting as we build up another area of high pressure over Scandinavia. So another Scandinavian high starts getting going through the Christmas week. This is probably all main dry. I would have thought pretty foggy, cold, foggy, probably frosty weather. But the main interest is what's going on with this Scandinavian high. Look how it finishes up by New Year's Eve, as far as we get to with the GFS midnight run. It's to 31st of December. We've got a lovely area of high pressure there over Scandinavia at 1,050 millibars, blocking progress of these low pressures. Could that be setting up a cold easterly start to January? Could we have a new year to make us shiver? Let's have a look at GFS 6Z, and again we're pulling up those very mild southerly southwesterlies on Sunday. Very unsettled but mild through the early part of next week, and then again, middle next week, that low pressure pushes through. Colder air starts to dig back in from the north, so by the time we get through to this time next week, which is the 23rd of December, we're back into cold weather again. Low pressures to our east, high pressures to our west, winds are back in from the north, probably bringing snow showers into the northern half of the country. That's Christmas Eve, still looking pretty cold, and this low probably bringing snow showers into parts of Scotland too. Christmas Day starts to reach high pressure in from off the Atlantic. We're not as cold as we are right now, I have to emphasise that, so we're not having a freeze-up Christmas. Nevertheless, it would clearly be cold enough for overnight frost, so even if you don't get snow showers, it would be cold enough, to have a nice white, crunchy grass. And then high pressure tries to have a go at reaching Scandinavia on Boxing Day. Doesn't really come off, and we just keep high pressure sitting around the country then as we go through the last week of December. This is a cold area of high pressure though, so this would be producing probably quite severe night frost actually, I would have thought, with this area of high pressure, although the upper air temperatures aren't that impressive. They look relatively mild. I would have thought on the surface it's going to be pretty cold. That's wrong chart. So on the surface, I would have thought it's very cold. Yeah, you see that with the dew points. So that's a classic inversion area of high pressure, mild a lot, but down on the surface, my word, that looks really cold. So we actually have a very cold Christmas week there. Not from snow, not from northerly and easterlies, but from an inversion. So one way or another, Christmas could be shaping up to be pretty cold this year. GM, if you enjoyed the video, by the way, please like, subscribe, and thank everybody for doing that. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids, get them to subscribe too. It's amazing, it's incredible. We thank you so very much, everybody, for doing that. GM, again, we look really mild as we go through into OPAD. Next week, mild, wet and windy. You could see a temperature up to 13 or 14 degrees by Monday. Absolutely remarkable after all the cold weather we've had lately. Into the middle of next week, so temperatures return back to average, still unsettled, with low pressure being further, showers, longer spells, rain, and then up to day 10. It looks like we're getting colder for Christmas with the GM, so that's midnight Christmas day, and we've got high pressure reaching through the North Atlantic towards Greenland, low pressure north of Scotland, and we are bringing in what looks like quite a cold northwesterly wind, and that probably brings snow showers into the northern half of the country. ECM looks like this, with both southwesterly winds, mild, wet and windy weather, rushing in properly into a part of next week. Then for the middle of next week, temperatures are lower. We begin to go colder by Thursday. We've got wind back into the northwest to the north again, quite cold into Friday, and then into Christmas Day, have a ridge of high pressure over the country, which is being replaced by another area of low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic. Because that low is coming into quite cold air, so it could be doing a fun and games with that maybe on Christmas Day. Won't that be exciting? This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM midnight run. So snow in the north over the next day or two. So sorry once again, everyone. And then wintry showers into the weekend. But on Sunday, we bring a band of wet weather across the country. That turns to snow in the north, mostly just rain though down in the south. And then on into next week, we're talking about wet weather, of course, initially, as it will be very mild. But we go back towards wintry weather later next week. So this is 22nd of December. Snow showers returning from the north and from the northwest, and those snow showers then taking us into the run up to Christmas. That gets us to Christmas Day, so that's midnight on Christmas Day, where we remain dry actually by that point, cold and frosty. There's wet weather coming in from the southwest. Could that bump into cold air and turn to snow? These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Gets us to Christmas Day. Goodness gracious me, 19 members of the ECM ensembles, including the control and the operation room, with a ridge of high pressure to our west, while low pressure or northwest, low pressure over country. Low pressure is trying to come into cold air. Could be fun and games. 11 with a mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards Greenland. Low pressure to our southwest. There's some high pressure towards France, though. So that's going to be a slightly milder option, probably 10. Again, with that mid-Atlantic ridge going towards Greenland scenario. Low pressure to our west. High pressure to our east. That probably brings up a relatively mild southwesterly. We've got 7 with high pressure to our west, and that's bringing in quite cold air from the northeast, I would have thought. And then we've got 4 with a strong mid-Atlantic ridge, low pressure to our east, and that be bringing down a cold northerly wind. It looks like it's all to play for as we get to Christmas. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got, and this will get us to the 30th of December. 18 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to our west, high pressure is going to be to the east, and so we've got to be relatively mild with that, but we've got to be watching out for the high pressure to the northeast, turn that wind from the south to the east. We've got 11 with high pressure blocking from Greenland to Scandinavia. That's going to be bringing in a cold easterly wind. 8 with low pressure right over top of the country. That's going to be unsettled, probably relatively mild. 7 with high pressure over the country, so that could be frost and fog. And then another 7 with a perfectly formed Scandinavian high, bringing us a cold easterly wind, and of course that will be a cold and potentially snowing end to 2022. CFSV2 finally, these are 500 millibar high knowledge breakdown into week periods. The first week period takes from 15th to 21st of December. The coming week has low pressure, trough of low over the northwest of Europe, high pressure blocking towards Greenland. So we're going to go less cold, but it's going to be quite unsettled. Now week 2 looks very interesting. Look at this. It's the 22nd of December, 28th, right through Christmas, and we've got high pressure reaching in the North Atlantic up towards Greenland, with low pressure to our east and south. That would be bringing cold air from the northeast. Wow, 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 wow! Who would have thought that? Maybe a cold Christmas from Can't Forecast Snow, CFS. And then we've got week 3, which is the 29th of December, the 4th of January. Again, with a mid-Atlantic ridge going to Greenland type scenario. Winds coming in from a cold north or northeasterly direction with that, so cold for New Year. And then week 4, looks like keeping things cold really. This is the 5th to the 11th of January, still with that mid-Atlantic ridge. It's still going northwards. There might be a little bit of moderation with that, maybe just bringing in some slightly less cold air from off the Atlantic. But I mean, it's 4 weeks away, and it's still strongly signalling both a mid-Atlantic ridge and a blocking scenario. So that could very easily, just slight adjustments, and that could very easily still be keeping us cold. Let's zoom in on these charts, shall we? Let's do it. So week 1, temperature anomaly from the 15th to 21st of December is colder than average, not just for us, but for most parts of Northern Europe. Now, this is Christmas week. Check this out. Check it out. Colder than average for Christmas week, 22nd, 28th of December. Look how cold it is in America as well. We're up in absolutely brutal cold there, descending from Canada into eastern parts of America. They'll get a real white Christmas with that, if that comes off. We are having a cold Christmas though there. Week 3 is also colder than average. These charts are remarkable. 29th of December, 4th of January. That one is also colder than normal, widely so from much of Northern Europe. By this point, it's getting milder again across America, by the way. But Europe's still well and truly trapped into the freezer there, even into the new year. Finally, a little bit of moderation into week 4, which is the 5th to the 11th of January. Temperature begins to stage a bit of a recovery, but only back closer to average. It is still quite cold. just to our east. So although we're going to get things milder, you know, over the weekend and into the early part of next week, it may not last for long, and it could well be that the cold weather comes back quite quickly, possibly giving us a cold Christmas. We should wait and see about that. If you enjoyed this video, please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Don't forget to tell friends and family about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. We are grinding to 16k subscribers now, and why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. We thank you so very much, everybody, for doing that. And goodness gracious me, isn't it getting exciting now? I think I've come back from NYC just at the right time. So I was thinking maybe I've missed the boat, you know, last week with the cold weather, but I reckon it's possibly that's just been a teaser, and we might still have the main to come, who knows. But we're going to be doing our 14th Christmas update for you tonight. That will be released just after 7 p.m. So it'll be a detailed look at Christmas. We will include the rest of the, well, that'll be with GFS. There will be a look at the 12Z with the rest of the model output as well, so it'll be kind of like a Christmas update combined with a 12Z model roundup, and I think it's going to be a fascinating watch, so I shall see you a little bit later on for that one. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday afternoon. I'll see you later for the resumption, if that's the word, of the Christmas countdown, but for this video, that's all for now, and thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.